What's going on, everybody? It's Levi here, bringing you another video. Today's video topic is going to be my list of my least and most favorite truck stops in the Midwest. So for those who don't know, I run nothing but the Midwest. I don't go west, I don't go east, south. I can go pretty far up north in Minnesota, but that's about it. So just keep in mind, if I don't even mention a certain truck stop chain that's not the big four or the big five, I should say, then it's just because I don't go to them. I never see them. So getting right into it, we'll start from the bottom, work our way up. I'm gonna start with number 5. My least favorite truck stop in all of the Midwest is TA. Do not like them, and I'll do this kind of like pros and cons. We'll start off with the pros for TA. And the biggest pro for TA is their parking lots are usually ginormous. They can usually hold over 100 trucks. Not every single one of them, though. I've seen some TAs where they only hold 50 trucks, which is still a pretty big lot, don't get me wrong. But when the majority of them are over 100 spots, that's a big plus for them, or a big pro. Another pro for TA would be their food. I do like their food most of the time. Not their sit-down restaurants. I think those are garbage and they're overpriced. Well, I mean, truck stop stuff in general is just overpriced. But I do like Popeyes. Popeyes is one of my favorite restaurants. So when I do stop at a TA, usually it's not to park. It's usually just to get food and move down the road to the next truck stop. Unless it's late at night and there's parking, then I'll park there. Now, granted, I don't park at a certain truck stop just because I don't like it. Like, if it's late at night and there's parking, I park wherever. I don't care if it's a TA or what. So let's just get that out the way. I park wherever I need to. Let me put myself off duty real quick. Okay, so number 4 on the list, that's going to be Petro. Now, I know I know Petro and TA are the exact same thing, just a different name, different color scheme, but they use the same rewards card, just like Pilot and Flying J are exactly the same. So the pros for Petro, once again, big lot, and that's about it for me. I don't ever stop at Petros. I don't think I stopped at one, but I was bobtail and parking was no issue. It did have a Charlie's in it, which I don't get those too often, so it's good to get something a little different other than Arby's and Subway and McDonald's. So Charlie's is a good change of pace. So that's why it is above TA, because it usually does offer something a little different food-wise. But that's about it. I've only gotten fuel out of Petro a couple of times. There's just not very many where I run. Or that I just don't notice them, I guess. I'm not sure. But either way, I don't stop at them very often at all. Moving on to number 3 on the list, and that is going to be Pilot. Now, the biggest pro for Pilot is I like their showers. But in the same hand, I've also seen some really gross showers from Pilot. It really depends, because that's their biggest con, is there's a lot of old Pilots out there. And you know which ones are the old ones. There's one in South Bend, Indiana. That Pilot, it's got 30 truck spots maybe. It's old, and they got a Subway in there. And I do not like Subway. If you go back to my other videos, you saw I've worked for Western Express. And during their orientation, that's all you got with Subway. You got Subway cards twice a day, and however long you're in orientation. I was in orientation for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks straight, I ate nothing but Subway. So it really burnt me out, and I don't really like it anymore. I'll eat it every once in a great while, but if I don't have to, I won't. So, Pilot, there's a lot of old ones, like I said, and what comes with age is a rough parking lot. I mean, and not anymore the spaces, where the grooves are, where trucks make. I'm just talking about potholes in the parking lot where they don't keep up with it. They don't try to maintain or anything else like that. They just let it go to shit. So yeah, that's my my reasoning on not liking Pilot so much. But on the other hand, I do fuel a lot at Pilots. They usually have, for my company, ATS, they do have usually the cheapest fuel. It's either between Pilot or Love's, usually. TA gets thrown in there every once in a while, but usually Pilot and Love's is cheapest. And if not, they're all the same price, and I just choose which one has the best food at that point. So, it for Pilot. Moving on to my number 2 favorite truck stop, and that's going to be Love's. The reason I like Love's is usually their truck stops are pretty new. Their showers are always clean. And that's about it. They usually have the McDonald's in it, which is okay. I don't eat too much fast food out here on the road. Because as you can see, I already got a belly. Don't need to add to it anymore. Try not to anyways. Let's see. Their parking lots are usually fairly decent. Now don't get me wrong, every truck stop you go to, they're going to have their bad ones or good ones. I get that. But in my experience in this Midwest that I do, Love's usually has the smoothest parking lots of them all. But the biggest con to Love's is it tracks all the idiots the fastest. So if you think you're going to stop at Love's at 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon, it's just not happening. It's just not happening, guys. Okay, unless that Love is in the cornfields. Okay, there's one I think on 23 going south from Columbus. It's in the cornfields. It's in the middle of nowhere, and it's the only truck stop around, and it's got a ginormous parking lot as well. But it fills up fairly quickly on a weekday. But that's the biggest con to Love's, is usually that's where everyone goes to first, and it fills up fast, and by 7, 8 o'clock, you're not getting a parking spot. And that goes for most places. 7, 8 o'clock, you're really pushing it. But depending on the location, though, and that's what a lot of it is, the location. Like right now, I'm in Spiceland, and these 2 truck stops have huge parking lots, so you can come in here at 7, 8 o'clock at night and most likely find a parking spot. So it's no big deal here, but maybe once you start getting closer to Indianapolis, that's where you're going to have trouble finding a parking spot. But I don't park close to Indianapolis, so. Alright, then moving on to my number 1. It's, if you haven't guessed it yet, it's the only one that's left, and that's Flying J. Now this does switch between Flying J and Pilot, depending on which one has the pizza. I do like their pizza, their PJ Fresh, or I don't even know if that's the pizza or what, but PJ Fresh, I see it, and that's what I like. I like the PJ Fresh stuff. But you know, same with the cons. You know, rough parking lots a lot of time. Some are big, some are small. Depending on location, it attracts a lot of idiots, a lot of idiot truck drivers, and they're out there, guys. Don't act like they're not. There's a lot of idiot truck drivers out there. And I'm just going to go ahead and repeat this again. Love's definitely attracts them first. Love's is, you know, king shit, and all the flies go to it. They have to deal with a bunch of idiots late at night. And then also depending on location, I mean, that's a given. But the biggest reason I like Flying J is because most of the time their showers are good water pressure, it's hot, they have the pizza, and yeah, you know, what does this one have? So they both, oh, okay, never mind. So this Flying J does not have, or this Flying J has the Denny's in it, which, like I said, I'm not a fan of. I don't go to Denny's. So that Pilot over there must not have anything in it. Or maybe it does. Maybe it has its own little restaurant in it. I don't know. But yeah, guys, that's my list, and that's what, you know, I usually look for Flying J first, or just if I know where I'm going and I've been there before, I usually know where I'm stopping beforehand. So it switches up all the time, but usually TA and Petro I usually don't stop at unless I need to. unless I messed up or got stuck in a traffic jam and have to stop early from where I planned on it. So yeah, you know, if you pre-plan your trip, you know, you can usually figure out where you're stopping at and make a plan. Other truck stops that did not make the list are Road Ranger. There's a certain run I get coming out of home time on a Monday. I've gotten it like 3 times now, and I stop at the same Road Ranger every single time. It's got a huge gravel lot, bumpier and shit. It's not a very good truck stop, but there's always a parking spot. They have their own little restaurant in there. It's actually pretty good. I do like it, and it's not too badly priced. It's not a Country Pride or Iron Skillet or anything like that, so not too bad. If you guys have any truck stop, your favorite truck stop, leave it down in the comments below. If you have any horror stories at truck stops, leave it down below. I would like to hear them. I have my fair share of truck stop horror stories. Or, you know, if you have a bad truck stop somewhere in the Midwest that you think I shouldn't go, or a good one I should go to, leave it down in the comments below. And that's all I got for you guys. So I'll see you in the next video, and you guys have a good one. See you later.